They wrote me off, I ain't write them back. Follow me, but don't double tap. I ain't liking that. You subscribe, I monetize. Now who's striking that? Wanna see the contract? Who got the rights to that? This my story. I spent my whole life on that. Time's up. Shador Sanders with the rollie in the armor. I could do this shit with my eyes closed. The main attraction don't come at me with no side show. I'm selling high, they wanna buy low.
What's poppin', man? I'm in the building. I got my boy Rock with me in the building, baby. A little bit of delay, man. You know, we trying to figure this thing out, trying to get it cracking, trying to get it together. But we here. So it don't really matter what time, but we here, baby. So we glad y'all waited on us. And honestly, some of y'all probably still late anyway. So we just waiting on y'all to join in with us. But I got my boy Rock in the building. Rock, how we feeling, playboy?
Oh, man. I think it's going to be a good day, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
All we good is had a chef in the kitchen on the cook up, bro. So for those that don't know, my boy Rock is the chef. He cooks it up, and to have him on the show this morning, man, it's a good thing, man. So glad to have my brother in the building. We're gonna wait for a couple more people tapping. I see 6 Ring Dynasty is you know, he was 8, he was urgent, man. He said, get your ass on this stream or else, man. So we here, brother. We here. Yeah, man, but the season's over with, Rock. Week 18 is in the books. Detroit dominated the Vikings, which I'm not sure we seen that one coming. It was supposed to be, you know, game of the year, the best show on turf, and you know whatever was going to happen. But it was none of that, man. It was Detroit just smashing the Jahmyr Gibbs guys, and they did their thing, bro. So with the season being a wrap, fantasy season was a wrap last week for the 99% of us. What's your outlook on this year, man, and everything, you know, that you got to experience with the football?
Dude, it was a good year. Like, even though I didn't win all the championships that I wanted to win, looking back, there were so many awesome things that happened. Also, too, like, so many things we didn't expect. That's when I think football is at its best, is when all these different storylines that we looked at during the offseason, when they don't pan out exactly like we think. And there's lots of surprises, too. But the thing I'm most looking forward to right now that the fantasy season is over is just enjoying every minute of these playoffs. NFL playoffs, there's nothing better. And I want to watch every minute, every game. So I'm excited to get into that with you.
Yeah, bro. And honestly, I'm looking forward to, I mean, we love watching more and more football, but having the game on Wednesday night, Thursday night, Saturday night, Sunday, it's like, damn, bro, I couldn't take a day off. You know what I'm saying? So now I know it's only particular days now that we got games, and I don't have to be like, man, do I watch this with my son on YouTube or do I watch football? You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, my kids got me a little bit more now, bro. So that's a good thing. But I see we got some people sprinkling in, man. I see Cody tapping in with us. What up, Cody, man? Good to see you, Playboy.
What's up,
you know, you always welcome to join us, man. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you ready, Playboy. You know what I'm saying? So good to see you, though, brother. Happy New Year's. I ain't seen you that text either, man. Happy New Year's, my boy Cody, man. Let's see. We got 6 Ring Dynasty. He in the building, man. He said, you know, the Pass Nation. I'm gonna say this, man. I see you done changed the thumbnail, and I mean, there's a profile pic and everything, man. So he ready. Like, it hasn't even happened yet, but he's ready. So hopefully he gets what he asked for. We're gonna see. We're gonna see, man. Gooner boy in the building, man. First playoff game. Okay. All right. He said he might go to this first playoff game. That's good, bro. If you go, man, let me know. It's funny. I actually had somebody hit me up and ask me that I want to go to Tampa. You know, the Commanders. I'm from here, so the Commanders fans. And they was like, look, I ain't trying to go to the game. I just want to be out there. So I told them, bro, I can't make it this year, man. But it would have been a good little fun trip to get away from all this damn snow we got going on out here. So, you know, it is what it is, man. We got Jay Jack in the building. He said he hungry, bro. So we cooking up for you, brother. I promise you, man. Mr. Voorhees, he said, hey, Rock, man, you in the building? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. It's always good to see my boy Rock, man. Don't be surprised I see my boy hop up in the kitchen a couple more times, man. This ain't a one-time thing, you know? So Terminal Sarcasm, what's up, baby? How we feeling, man? Yeah. Off season, but ain't no off season for us, man. The NFL get rest, they get their time, but we don't get time. we here for y'all, man. So we're gonna make sure we stay here. And he said, "Am I doing the same bowl?" So honestly, bro, this is my first year of doing full content, and I said this like I'm gonna definitely start trying to grow and move on. So the East-West Shrine game, I believe, in February, or was at the end of this month? It's either end of this month or February. That's in Dallas, Texas, and I was like, damn, that would have been dope to go. And the Senior Bowl and all that good stuff. So don't be surprised you see your boy drop one of these notes and say, I'm headed out of town, headed to one of these events, man. So
February 1st, that's when it's at.
What the Shrine Bowl?
Senior Bowl.
Oh, Senior Bowl. Okay, yeah. So this year, not this year. And honestly, that's my mom's birthday weekend. We actually having her party on the 1st. So I wouldn't be able to miss that one anyway, man. So I can't make it this year, but looking forward to the future on that one, Terminal. So shout out for you, bro, for always tapping in with us. And Rock, man, listen, we got us a good little look. My boy Rock gave me a show sheet, man. He typed it up, made me feel all fancy this morning. I said, listen, man, I'm used to this waking up, coming up. I mean, I'm always like ready and prepared, but a lot of times, all this stuff that I put down, bro, I just throw out the window, man. We just seeing what's good, what's popping, how we at the time. So my boy Rock made some stuff up for me. And we got a couple of topics, man, a couple of things. I'm gonna let Rock talk his talk, man. He got some stuff he want to let y'all know. And yeah, so Rock, man, we gonna start off with I guess some of the news, right? Let's start off with the news, bro. We got Tyreek Hill, right? This dude said pretty much short story.
I'm out, bro.
I'm out.
Yeah, there it is. Like, yeah.
I'm out, bro. Like, I mean, do we really believe that he's out or mentally he's checked out, or is this like moment, one of those things where he's spirit of the moment and it just came out frustrated after not getting his 1,000 yards, having a bad season. Snoop Huntley is his quarterback for the rest of the season. Was just like prisoner of the moment type thing, or do we really believe he wants out and somebody's going to try to be trading for him?
Has he ever said anything like this in the past before? Because if he hasn't, then he might be serious. Then he might be as serious as a heart attack. Tyreek Hill, he's my favorite wide receiver in the league, and he did not have a great year this year. Unfortunately, lots of things fell apart. Mike McDaniel, I think we're going to talk about the coaches for not only this season but next season as well. Definitely on the hot seat. They did not have a good year whatsoever. So I'm not surprised if he truly does want out. I don't know what his contract situation looks like. I don't know what the outs are for it. But I'm sure teams would want to trade for him, the same way. If they can get Devontae Adams out of Las Vegas, they could definitely get him out of Miami.
And to be honest, Rock, with Tyreek, he just signed a new contract, but I don't think it was an extension. I think this gave him more money. So it was almost like, hey, here, take some more money because we appreciate you being around and, you sticking with us. But it's still a heavy cap hit regardless. And at the end of the day, bro, I think me personally, he was a prisoner of the moment. I don't think he really necessarily wants to leave, but I think him leaving Kansas City, us thinking, man, Kansas City might be done. They don't have Tyreek. And then they go on to win the Super Bowl every year since he's been gone. I think that might be eating him up too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we all want to have more money. We all want to have more comfortability in the bank. And then we look back 3 years later and say, damn, bro, I don't think that extra $10 million was worth missing 2 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what he's doing. He looking in the mirror right now, facing reality that extra $10, $15 million I begged for and free agent or to get traded for, it was not worth missing 2 Super Bowls in Kansas City, bro. So I think that's what he's really looking at and facing right now, reality of money over history.
He might be one of those players where it's like, now that he had at least one Super Bowl, he just wants to get paid. I mean, he does, have like a kid with like every month with a different baby mama. So maybe he has to pay him. So I think he just wanted that money. The Miami Dolphins, they have an out in 2026. That would be a $15.5 million dead cap hit. So I don't think they could do it next year. Someone would definitely have to trade for him, and he'd be 31 next year. So, but he's still got it. But it's just a tough situation. I guess he's just tired of.
Well, if we had to pinpoint, let's just say 3 teams on the top of your head that you would like want to see or would expect to try to trade for him if it was available. Like if today, hey, Tyreek is available, who coming give me 3 teams off top of your head that you would really break down and say they the ones that I was, think would do this.
Well, let me just pull up real quick because they would have to have a lot of cap money and stuff like that. So let me just pull up.
I don't even want to talk to Cap Rock. I'm just saying on the top of your head.
Doesn't
on
even have
top
to
of
be
your
realistic.
head, the teams that you think that are receiver needy that can make us. Even if we look at cap space, right? We always break down the numbers on the cap, but we've seen teams like the Eagles, bro. They re-sign everybody. They go sign Saquon Barkley. I'm thinking, how you got Saquon Barkley? You just paid AJ Brown. You just paid Devonta Smith, and you just paid Jalen Hurts. They still made that happen. So that's why cap space sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Cap space is tricky sometimes, bro. So just give me 3 teams off the top of your head that you either want to see him go to or that you realistically think he would go.
Just pure vibes. Just pure vibes. I'd love to see him in a Texans uniform. Him and Nico Collins with CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, there was a beautiful deep ball. I think that would be awesome. I'd love to see what they do in Las Vegas if they get a new quarterback. I think that would be pretty awesome to see him in the black and silver. And then if I had to pick one other team, man. Well, I mean, he's my favorite wide receiver. So if he played 1 year in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, it couldn't be better.
Bro, listen, I was about to say, man, you missing the one of my key teams, and not because I'm a Lamar stan, but I feel like if you try to get Deontay Johnson, you clearly saying we have a need at receiver that we want to fill, right? So that didn't work out. So, hey, shoot for the moon. I never felt Deontay was the right spot anyway. I always thought D-Hop was the right one in that looking for a receiver in Baltimore situation. I feel like Deontay and Zay kind of play the same role. Zay's just a little faster and better, but I didn't look at Rashad Bateman and Deontay as any, like, you know what I'm saying? Baltimore has like the same set of receivers in a sense. So a D-Hop to me would have really like gave them that alpha male presence in the receiver room. So when they didn't get D-Hop and they got Deontay Johnson, I was like, oh, well, okay, let's see if it worked. I think Tyreek to Baltimore is definitely a top 2 for me. I see my boy, he must know me, or he pretty much already had it in his head, but 6-ring dynasty. Tyreek to the Commanders is definitely a top 2 move for me as well. They got cap space. They need another guy. You put Tyreek with J-Day, bro, this team is, how many they got this year? 10 wins, I think? 11 wins. 11 wins. First 12 when they beat the Cowboys. Yeah, they put Tyreek on this team, they got 13 automatically, bro. I'm gonna be honest. So you put J-Day with Tyreek. I would love to see that. I would love to see Tyreek with Baltimore. I think my sneaky team, if I had to put one, bro, they're not gonna do it, but the Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this as a fan. I'm saying this from a football perspective. Like, they need a second receiver. You know what I'm saying? CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Tolbert, CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. Like that, nobody's scared. Nobody's scared of that. You know what I'm saying? So if you really, really, really want to lock in, got to be the Cowboys. But I like you on that Texas move though, bro. They need to really take over. They got their division, but that's not hard to do, right? So to really compete, like, we all banking on them losing game 1 in the playoffs. Am I not mistaken?
Yeah, well, it's not up too much with that last segment we got, but it's going to be tough for the Texans against the Chargers.
And I'm going to be honest, Rod, I don't think no matter who they played, we would have voted on them to lose. Like, I think the Chargers, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Broncos, I'm taking everybody against the Texans. They just look like the weakest contenders coming into the playoffs to me personally. And adding Tyreek there will really shake some rooms and some locker rooms. And I think, man, the coaching staff over there, they ready to win. They went and signed Diggs. They paid him more money, got him. It didn't work. They traded away their first round pick to Minnesota, got some more picks later. So I think right now with them having extra picks in this draft and having a young core coaching staff, I think they're going to try their best, man, to do whatever it takes to compete in the AFC. So the Texans are my 3.
You know who'd also be a really great one? Someone talked about it earlier. Fire the Cannons. Can you imagine him in Tampa Bay? Him and Mike Evans, especially if Chris Godwin leaves. Baker. That would have a whole other vibe to that. I think that would be awesome.
You know why I would like that though? I would like that more so because of Mike Evans and Baker. And then like that whole like Mike Evans and Baker thing to me, they look like law. Picture this, right, Rob? You know, Johnny Manziel and Mike Evans was like this in college, right?
Yep.
So Baker Mayfield is really like a buffer splitting image of Johnny Manziel. Like they look like they party the same in college. It looked like that they hung out at, you know what I'm saying? Like they are almost like tit for tat. If you take the face and the complexion, and I mean they all look this like if you took everything away and just put player for player, bro, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They look like two dudes that smash beers off their head. Like I like, you know what I'm saying? I like that Mike Evans and
he's
Baker.
A dude's dude. He's a bro. He's awesome.
100%. He can come to the school over in Canton with us, bro, anytime and really fit in. Like he wouldn't feel like a celebrity. Like he would really fit in. So knowing that him and Mike Evans had that connection, I think Tyreek Hill would love that vibe. I like Tua. I just think sometimes Tua gets he's a little too chill, man. Tua just kind of he don't look like he boosts you up in a sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think Tyreek he might be the unfortunate leader of that team, but I don't really think Tyreek is like an outspoken leader. You know, I think he needs to be around some leadership. So,
people vibe with different people, man. I think Tua, he has his own type of people, you know, in his corner and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't necessarily see them getting drinks with one another and partying with one another.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point. So maybe C.J. Stroud or Baker can bring that out of Tyreek for sure, man. But we got Moms in the building. What's up, Moms? Good morning. I know you're working from home. I don't mean to tell everybody, but hey, you're working from home. So good luck. I'm glad you're here today for sure. We got Alan Coon in the building. What's good, bro? How you feeling, man? How you feeling? Oh yeah, look, bro. It's funny. I'm reading that he got his name in the chat, but his real name is on his account. Sometimes that's how it happens, bro. You just gotta switch it up, man. I don't know, Alan. You gotta, you know. So I'm just reading like, oh yeah, I bet now, you know. So yeah, switch that up for us, man. You know what I'm saying? Who we got? Theo in the building. What's up, Theo? And no, for sure. And that's what I'm saying, Jay. Right? I feel like Baker and Johnny, they are like spirit animals, bro. Like they probably hung out with one another and didn't even know it. Like I'm sure they crossed paths one day and didn't even know it, bro. So. But shout out to Tyreek Hill, man. Hopefully he stays in Miami. But to me, I don't think you can go wrong with having him go anywhere else. It's all good. It's all love. Yeah. So moving on, man. Moving on. I got a guy I wanted to bring up, and I was gonna say this for later, Rock, but why not bring it up now, man? It's my boy Bryce Young, man. Bryce Young in the building. Now, Bryce Young to me, bro. You know, he had this moment where he got benched. We all kind of said, oh, he's done. He started off looking bad. I even saw him crying on the field one time. And I said, man, this is how Mac Jones got put out of New England. I remember Mac Jones in London. He cried. He looked so pitiful, bro. I really like felt bad. Like, damn, bro. Like, I don't even know what to like. If I'm a teammate, what do I say to you right now? You know what I'm saying? So watching Bryce go through his ups and downs, his trials. And to be honest, Andy Dalton probably still would have complicated things because he only started again because Andy got in a car accident. You know what I'm saying? Like Andy got in a car accident and then Bryce became the starter. But if that car accident never happened, bro, I'm not even sure if Bryce would have got his opportunity right away then. And unfortunately for Andy, you know, prayers up, glad he was healthy and okay after the accident. But I'm not saying it's a blessing that this man got in an accident, but it was a blessing that Bryce Young took advantage of in a sense. Like, okay, I got my job back. What am I going to do with it? And Bryce Young, man, week to week, smiling, he walking around happy, cheesing, like they putting up numbers. Forget the outcome of the game. Forget the wins, the losses. This team was never going to be good anyway. The moral of this team was just gain some locker room presence, right? Feeling good, feeling happy. And seeing your guy, number 9, the number 1 overall pick, you traded franchise picks in the future for, to see him walking around happy, smiling, and giving me that Baker Mayfield vibe, I love to see it, man. And to close out the season with a win, even though it hurt you in the standings of the draft, forget all that, man. In this locker room, I want to see my guy go out and win, put up numbers like he put up, and also make everybody else feel good. So I think coming into 2025, man, no matter what they take, I'm pretty sure they're going to go receiver to me early. But if they don't, that's cool. I just liked how they closed out the season and how they brought Bryce's spirits from here to there, man. And I've been rooting for number 9, man, all since he been drafted, bro. His circumstances was never the best, and to see where he is now, man, I like to see that, bro. So how you feeling about Bryce right now, brother?
Yeah, man. Seeing him bounce back after getting benched. A lot of times I think we can't buy into the narratives, especially when it comes to certain coaches. Like Dave Canales, I think he needs to get just as much props as Bryce Young does. The way that he steered his team, especially through the second half, the way that both him and Bryce Young really fought through adversity. What's up, Mikey? How's it going, man?
What up, Mike?
Just massive props because Bryce Young, he had the same just coming into his rookie season. Him and CJ Stroud, I had the exact same score for. So to see CJ Stroud, put up all those numbers his rookie year and Bryce Young to struggle so mightily, it really called into question a lot of my process and stuff like that. But it's hard to predict a lot of these quarterbacks. But just to see the benching that he, what he did for Bryce Young, the way that it turned out, it's like Dave Canales really did have, the best for him. He just needed to take that pressure off of him. And he gets to see him every day in practice. He gets to see him in those meetings. So even if Andy Dalton didn't get into that accident, I think he would have seen enough of his maturation and him put it together that maybe Andy Dalton would have played one more game. But to see the way that Bryce Young finished the season, it's one of the most impressive runs by any quarterback over the last month of the season. He's right up there with some of the best ones. So I'm super stoked. We can't always write off, players, any type of player, but especially quarterback, the hardest position in all of sports after just 1 year.
That's what we do, bro. But that's what we do, Rock. We write off players. We think that these 21, 22, 23-year-olds are supposed to come in, dominated their position, and be the best that we've ever seen. We never give these people time, bro. Like, we don't understand. In real life, you're never the best at your job when you get hired. And even though coming from college and the NFL is still football, he's been playing his whole life, it's a different game and different levels, baby. You know what I'm saying? And learning new systems, having new coaches, having new offensive alignment. As a quarterback, bro, you have so many tools around you that you got to use at one time. You can't just expect everybody to get it, man. I mean, look at Sam Darnold. I know he had a big stinker on Sunday, but look at him and Geno Smith and all these dudes. Baker Mayfield, we hyping him. We love Baker. He went through hell, bro, to get where he is right now. So I just don't like how we just think we supposed to snap our fingers and these guys are supposed to be the best players we've ever seen. And a lot of times the writing is on the wall. Coming into the league, right? We seen certain guys get drafted and we kind of knew like, nah, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? But like now we do have some guys that get drafted that we all scratch our head at. But other guys like Bryce, like, Bakers and these guys, they get in these situations and then we like, oh man, they trash. They was drafted number 1 overall. Well, the reason why they drafted number 1 overall because the team that they're on was pretty damn bad, bro. So you can't keep knocking these players, man. It is.
And
it is what it is, man. What else?
And I absolutely hate that too, where we expect so much so fast from these players. That's why one of the articles that I'm going to write that I'm really excited about is what is the average time for quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends to break out. So I want to look at, historically speaking, how long does it take these guys to break out? Because not everyone is CJ Stroud or Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix.
Even CJ step back, right? Even CJ
exactly
breaking out season. It takes time, brother. Time, man.
Yeah. So I want to look into that. I want to give people historical context and data so that they can be like, all right, these guys are special. The ones like CJ Stroud that do break out, but we need to give some of these other players like Garrett Wilson and CeeDee Lamb, they take a couple years sometimes before they break out. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at Keep Trade Cut, man. Our good friends over there at KTC, looking at some value. And I want to get your thoughts, Rock. And anybody in here, man, that's Dynasty football specialist, man, let me know. Right now, Bryce Young, QB 20, pretty much around. J.J. McCarthy is 19. Trevor Lawrence is 18. Michael Penix, 17. Jared Goff, 16. Baker Mayfield, 15. So top 15 Baker, Goff, Penix, Lawrence, JJ, Bryce Young. Right behind them, A. Rich, Tua, Sam Darnold, Dak, Geno. In between that list, Rock, where Bryce is now, coming in 2025, let's just say they go, Chet McMillan, Luther Burden, one of these receivers with their top pick, right? And then they add, more offensive line, hopefully, pretty much make the team better, right? From what it is now. Looking at this list, where we got Bryce over Trevor Lawrence? What are you taking?
It depends who the Jaguars get as a coach, because it's hard to argue.
So Ben Johnson going in, then it's different, right?
Especially with BTJ, who we're going to talk about later. I mean, Evan Ingram, it's just like it's hard to be able to match that. So Trevor Lawrence, he's disappointed, but yeah, it just depends. I think he's their lock in step for me, right, as far as value goes.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. Like you said, depending on the situation, if we get the right coach in Jacksonville, you can put Trevor up maybe 2 or 3 spots from where he is. So let's just say JJ McCarthy, right? He hasn't started the game. He's coming off 2 knee injuries. Sam Darnold is kind of has the chokehold right now in a sense on that spot. If they win 2 games and go to the NFC Championship, I mean, not knowing if Sam is going to sign or not, right? Let's just say right now we're going into the February, not knowing at all, but somebody's offering you JJ McCarthy, Bryce Young. You gonna make that trade? You moving Bryce for JJ, not knowing if he starts next year, or?
Man, they're like almost the exact same value for me, only because Kevin O'Connell is one of the best coaches in the NFL. His offensive line, it's like him, Sean McVay. It's just like, I think he's one of the top 3 offensive minds, and he always puts his team in a really great spot to win. So we don't have to necessarily like the Vikings in the postseason, but they're in the regular season. The Vikings are really, really good. So I don't know. I kind of just want to hold JJ McCarthy, to be honest with you.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. I just want, without knowing though, because we don't know. Say they sign Sam Darnold and he say, hey, JJ, we're going to keep saying for 2 years. We want you to be our Joe and Love. We want to sit for 2 more years, learn the game. It might be that's a risk, man. Are you going to keep JJ or you going to get Bryce? Me personally, I'm going to go with the guy I know that's starting right now, that's in the offense that I think can get better. I'm going to roll the dice with Bryce over JJ.
Yeah.
But I fear when JJ gets to start, he's going to outshine Bryce. So I'm with you, but I'm willing to just take the chance, man, and just do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying, Rock? But hopefully by the time JJ start for you, I have a championship in my pocket. That's what I'm going to bank on, I
will say this. Bryce Young is definitely the most exciting player at his value, at his price. I mean, I think that what you're hitting at is that he's an extreme value. I'd rather have him over so many of the other players that are around him. So,
yeah. Shout out my boy Aaron, man, came through the building, man. Appreciate you, brother.
I think he's talking about my head, but
he talking about your head too. All right, that's a bet, bro. That's a bet. But yeah, man, like I said, man, Bryce Young to me, man, I love to see where he is now, how he shaped out, how things got better, bro, because he was looking down. A lot of people counted him out. Some people want to trade him for random whatevers, and I'm glad we to the point now that we can bring some light back on Carolina, man, and get Bryce back where he need to be. And his number 1 target is like 35 years old, and people counting him out, right? So I think Adam Thielen likes Bryce because people counted him out. They probably said, man, he's done. Like, we don't want him, and him and Bryce kind of got that underdog, mentality going on. So I like what they got going on, Rock. I guess keeping things going, man, over the weekend, I think that was Saturday, we had that big game, man. Oregon Ducks, Ohio State Buckeyes, man. And this dude right here, Jeremiah Smith, man. Jeremiah Smith, one of them ones, Rock. He's the freshman coming out of, coming to college. This dude is probably 17, 18 years old, I'm guessing. I don't have his age on me. I'm pretty sure he's a freshman. He's at least 18. And this man might quite be one of the best, if not the best receiver in all of college football, bro. He's only going to get better with age. My boy is going to be a fine wine real soon, man, up in the league. So just seeing what he did Saturday, Rock, and what he's done overall throughout the year. I think I read a stat that his first quarter of this season, I think he had 173 yards on like 3 receptions or 4 receptions. First half of this season, I think he had his biggest game of the year in the first half of the season. And we talking the Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Ducks undefeated, coming in number 1 team, number 1 seed. They smashed these dudes, right? They literally belt the ass on the Oregon Ducks, bro. So Jeremiah Smith, class of 2027 as of now. So if you in some dynasty leagues, man, hey, if you got a late pick 12 in the second round, bro, that 212, hey man, what's up with that 27 first, man? You know what I'm saying? It might be worth the shot, Rock. I'm just saying, you a championship team and you looking to stack some picks and get a part of this 2027 class that this guy's in, go get you some 2027 first, baby. But how we feeling about Jeremiah Smith coming into the next season? Well, the next game, they play the Texas Longhorns this week. I don't know if my boy Cody's still here, but that's his crew, that's his guy. So Texas Longhorns, man, I think they got their work cut out for them. Me personally, I think I had Ohio State winning it all in my bracket. So it's not like March Madness, Rock, where we got a whole bracket and we actually got, that crazy fun madness going on. The college playoff bracket still new to us, right? We still trying to learn it. So Jeremiah Smith, man, how you feeling about him, and what's to come? What we thinking about going forward?
I mean, there's no other player that I would rather watch in college right now. And I'm not just saying that just as a Buckeye alum, too. I think he is the best player in college right now. And he's only 19 years old. He's 19 years old. So he went off for 7 catches, 187 yards, and 2 touchdowns against the Oregon Ducks. He has the best PFF receiving grade outside of like one guy from Army who's probably not going to get drafted. But he's got the best PFF grade. Also, too, so digging into some of these matchups and stuff like that, I always love looking at GPS tracking, who the fastest players are in college.
Yeah.
4 times this season, Jeremiah Smith was the fastest player of the week in college. Only one other player had more appearances. You know who it is this season? Take a guess.
Right, it's like a billion college players.
I know, but think about the best players in college.
Yeah. I'm like, I got like 4 down. What position? Receiver?
Running back, of all things. Don't overthink it. He's the best. He was up for the Heisman.
He was up for the Heisman at running back. Genty. Yeah.
So is him and Jeremiah Smith.
You had me
Isn't that
thinking
crazy?
about playing. I'm thinking about Tennessee. I'm going down a list of running backs that I'm trying to be sneaky and find that one. But it's Genty though. Damn, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? It's just like you want to think a running back, had that many times where he appeared as the fastest player in college. So I'm excited for him. I really want to see Emeka Egbuka, really put his stamp as a first-round pick and deserving of it. He's the 3rd wide receiver rated in this class. So, I'm excited for Jeremiah Smith within the next few years, man. But, get those 27 picks. The 27 class looks like it could be a really, really good one. So,
especially at the receiver position, man. I see we got a quick little question, man, from Mike, man. We're going to holler at him one time. He said, what we selling CMC for? What's the value, bro? Me personally, I don't know what his value is, because I think it's more so the person that's coming to buy, right? The person that's coming to buy, I think, is going to set the value for you, because they're going to send an offer. Because right now you don't even know what to sell them for. So if the person that's coming to buy, if they offer you something, then it's up to you, I guess, to just negotiate or press accept. But I don't know if it's a clear market right now for you to just make offers and send out, hey man, you want CMC for this? Because I was offered CMC a lot of times and I said, bro, I'm good. Now, if they sent me the right offer and it was over, like, oh man, I could take a chance, I would do it. With me personally, I would have to wait for somebody to ask for CMC. I don't think I can sell him, because I know I'm gonna want more than what I'm probably gonna want get back. So I would just hold. The long story short, I'm holding, bro.
Yeah, you don't necessarily want to sell players at their lowest value. But with all the injuries that he has, and I was talking to Evie about this when I went through my running backs, I don't know any other running backs that have that type of injury and tendonitis in his
Both
Achilles and
legs.
stuff like that. And both legs and stuff like that. For me, I think he's honestly done. Unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to see the same CMC ever again. So I think they just, I don't know. He's had a lot of wear and tear on his body throughout his whole career. So I would just trade him for, I don't know, a high second if I could get it. And one of my players that I really want during the NFL draft is there during the rookie draft. I might just trade him away, not worry about it.
Yeah. Nah, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, man. My boy Mike sent us a super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man. I know the chat is probably what you just put over top of the question. So appreciate you, big dog, no doubt. Moving on with the news though, Rock, man. I was gonna have some good fun and do our South Harmon minute, man. But we going through the list, baby. We going through some things. So shout out to my brother, man, BJ in the building. Man, I'm not feeling this profile picture, brother. What you got going on over here, man? I don't want people thinking I'm friends with Jason, man. What's up, brother? Yeah. Shout out my boy though, man.
That looked like something from Knife Talk.
Yeah. What's up with that, bro? You know what I'm saying? But moving along, man. We're gonna get into some more players, man. And right now, the conversation I wanted to bring up, Rock, to be honest, this Mike Evans record thing, right?
The incentives.
This is a new one. I ain't tell you about this one. So this incentives thing.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been following me. I've been on this Saquon should have played and got his record movement, right? So Mike Evans, he needed 5 yards to complete the task, get us 1,000 yards and tie with Jerry Rice. He got it with the last play of the game, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm gonna be honest, Rob. Me personally, I think no matter, because a lot of people were saying Saquon, they already locked in their seating, they didn't need him to play. I think if the Bucks if they was already winning the division, they was already locked in, and Mike Evans still needed that 85 yards, they would have played him, bro. I think 100%, no matter what, Baker Mayfield even preached about it. Man, listen, his record is special to me, it's special to us. There's no way we weren't going to get him that record. And I just think personally, it's easy to say Mike Evans only played and got the record and kept going because they needed to win the game, which they did need to win. But I think no matter what, bro, they could have been 15-0 with the top seed. Mike Evans was going to go get that record with 85 yards away. And I swing that back around and say, me personally, I've been preaching and hating and mad that Saquon didn't go get the number 1 running back record, bro. I feel like, to me, it was a team decision. It was most people say, man, you tripping, bro. Like he shouldn't have played. So what if he gets hurt for the playoffs? Rock, the man can get hurt right now in the house, slipping on a grate. Right?
I was about to say.
He can get an accident on the way to practice. Anything can happen. And I get this conversation of it's a team sport. It's a team that's team that. Rock, one thing we know about this team in the NFL, the owner's going to cut you when they want to. The players that's on that team going to go sign to a new team when more money is thrown their way. The coach is never going to be around forever. You are as valuable to that team as is as valuable to you. And I feel like as your teammate, as your offensive lineman, as your coach, I'm not letting you sit out that game. I don't care. You're going up against the Giants, the same team that doubted you, kicked you out of the building, should have paid you more money than they was even worth paying you. And you could go break that record and set history against them. Bro, there's no way I'm letting Saquon Barkley miss that opportunity. I don't care if he says no. You're going out there, bro. And I get this theory of if he gets hurt, Rock, listen, this is my argument. If he gets hurt, right, you just got to adjust. Just like you do every other week. What if Jalen Hurts got a concussion? If he didn't play because he had a concussion, he got hurt, they would have to adjust, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is, bro. The Philadelphia Eagles was in the Super Bowl like 2 years ago, without Saquon Barkley. So I'm not saying that all of a sudden Saquon gets a high knee sprain and he's out for 2 weeks. That it is what it is, man. You can get hurt at any time in this game, Rob. And I feel like my last thing on this, I don't mean to keep ranting too long. I will say though, Rock, right? I tweeted this yesterday. What's the difference between Saquon sitting out for this record because it helps the team in the playoffs? But if he wanted more money and missed the first 7 weeks of the season, it wouldn't help the team if they lost 7 in a row without him, right? So holding out for more money in the offseason and the beginning of the season nobody that don't affect you enough. But missing one game for this playoff run made everything better. I don't understand it, bro. To finish number 9 on the list when you got opportunity, then he finished number 9, Rock. If he was number 2, all right, cool. But nobody's gonna scroll down to number 9 and see where Saquon was at, bro.
They're gonna only look at the top 5.
Everybody talking about it. And me personally, bro, I wanted to see him break it as a fan of the game, and I felt like he could have did it. And people are going to say, "Well, he did it in 17 games, so he did it." Don't matter when you do it, bro.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, they're not.
That's my rant. I wanted to bring it up. I got the platform and the floor, and I wanted to bring it up, Ross. Do your thing on it, and we can move on. But that's just how I feel about it.
So I was thinking about this as well. And the only thing I could do with this situation is just try to put myself in the coach's shoes, in the locker room shoes. And it's just as simple as you have a conversation with Saquon. You ask him, do you want to go out and get this record? And then you get the vibe from the locker room. Because, like, they are playing against, the backups and stuff like that as far as, like, the offense and stuff like that. It wouldn't be the starting offensive line. It wouldn't be Jalen Hurts. If they want to go out there for him and battle for him, just the same way that Baker, wanted to battle for Mike Evans, I think that's a completely different situation. I think you have to get behind the team. And, I don't think that you can play with if you try to put yourself in the shoes of players and stuff like that, they want to play all the time they can. This is the game that they love. It's not just about money for them or trying to keep themselves safe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers got hurt. In their game, he might potentially miss, the first game of the playoffs against the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't necessarily play scared because that's not the way that they
play.
play.
It happens, bro. It is what it is.
It does. And like when you're playing this violent game and you're going up against some of the best athletes in the world, you can't play scared. You can't play like, oh no, I'm afraid to get hurt and stuff like that. You have to go out like it's war. So I don't necessarily think like, oh, like I'm not gonna go out there because I don't want to get hurt and stuff like that. So that's the only thing I could say. It's just like I wonder if Sirianni had this conversation or if he made this decision for Saquon. If he made this decision for Saquon because he wants his team to be at its best, it's just like that's the decision of the coach. Unfortunately, it's just like he has to look out for the best of his team, and because the goal was always to win a Super Bowl and stuff like that. But if I had that conversation with Saquon, he wants to go out and play in the locker room, wants to go out and play for him, then you got to get behind it. So that's what my view is on it.
And honestly, bro, I think Saquon being Saquon, he probably said no. He probably said, it's cool, I'll sit out. But I think he did that just being a team player. I think if the team would have told him, no, we're going to get you this, I think he would have jumped back on board and said, y'all sure? Like, I don't think he wanted to put himself first before the team and then everybody look at him crazy like, man, you just chasing the record. You know what I'm saying? So I think he kind of went with the flow of what everybody else said. But I'm just saying, as a fan, as a teammate, as your friend, I'm not letting you miss this opportunity. Because when history happens, the ownership, the coaches, the O-line, the D-line, everybody on that team is going to look back and say, man, I was a part of that history. Like, I was on that team. When I look at that team photo, I was there. That was taken away from everybody. So that's just how I feel about it. I ain't that goes long. Go ahead, bro.
That goes back to hopefully Barkley feels like he's at home. He could be himself. If he just only wants to be the team player and only just say what he is expected of him, hopefully he can just be himself and Sirianni can know, like, are you just saying this or this is how you really feel and stuff like that. So the best situation is when a player can be his complete self and just compete out there. No fear whatsoever. Those are the best teams, man.
For sure. So I'm glad, hopefully they win, man. Because if they go out there and lose week 1, then you shout out for nothing again. So at the end of the day, it is what it is, man.
But he did get 2,000 yards. So like he is still part of a very special club. So
he did. And no knock on him, man. I got a lot of love for Saquon, man, but I just wasn't feeling that one, Rock. So I'm going through this recap game, Rock, right? Okay, boom. There we go. So look, without further ado, Rock, man, we won't have no new comments in the chat. Everybody chilling, man. Hope y'all. I don't know how it was on your end, Rob, but man, we got about a good 6-7 inches of snow over here. The city went crazy.
It's crazy.
I'm about to go out there now. Okay. I'm gonna go out there now and finish dusting off or whatever the came last night from early that morning. But yeah, man. Without further ado, bro, it's time to cook the South Harmon fastest minutes, and I'm gonna let you kick it off, man. That game one, bro. You got the list.
Yeah, I do.
Cook, baby. Once that beat drop, my brother, do your thing.
All right, we're going to push ourselves. We're going to try to do each of these in under a minute. But this first one, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on. So Cleveland at Baltimore. Baltimore pulls out the win, 35-10. This is the 6th time John Harbaugh has won the AFC North. And just a couple more different stats on it. John Harbaugh has taken the Ravens to the playoffs 12 times now in 17 seasons. That's pretty freaking crazy. Only the Packers, Patriots, and Chiefs have done that in the same amount of span. The Ravens have also had an historic season. 7,224 yards in offense this season, averaged 6.78 yards per play. And they had 3,189 rushing yards this year. All these accomplishments, 3rd best in NFL history, Fizz. But here's the thing. It's not just a team sport. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson. The best player, I think, in the NFL. He has had an MVP caliber season. So here are some of the crazy things that he's done this season. So on 474 attempts, 316 completions, both career highs, 4,172 yards. First time ever he's passed over 4,000 yards. 41 passing touchdowns, career high. But here's the crazy thing. Only 4 interceptions, Fizz. He's got a career high QBR, career high passer rating, which both lead the NFL as well. Oh, and not to mention, he's also got 915 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. So here are some of the firsts that he's accomplished. These are things that no other player has done in NFL history. He is the first. Yeah, he's the first player in history to lead the league in average yards per pass and average yards per run. He's got 8.8 yards per pass, 6.6 yards per run. He's the first player ever to pass for 4,000 yards and rush for 800 yards. He is the first player to throw for 40 touchdowns and less than 5 interceptions. Oh, and his 119.6 passer rating, 4th best in history. I think he is without a doubt the MVP. He is the complete package. Joe Burrow has had a really good year as a passer. Josh Allen has the rushing touchdowns, but they don't have both things. And Derrick Henry, 1,921 yards. That's the 2nd best of his career. 16 rushing touchdowns. That is a franchise record. But unfortunately, we did lose Zay in this game against the Browns. So hopefully he can come back. Browns, I got nothing to say, man. I saw that they reported there was a setback with Watson's injury. I think that they are doing everything in their power to keep him on the bench and rehab him because there is an incentive. They took on an insurance policy. If they can keep him on the bench, they get a lot of that money back. So that's all I got to say about that game, man.
That's it, Rob. Well, that was a lot to say, my brother, but I ain't mad at you.
That's the biggest one. I needed to give Lamar some.
You got your Ravens get on, talk your talk, bro. I ain't mad at you, man. We're going to move on. I'm keeping it short and sweet. We're going to keep it going. Bengals versus the Steelers. Bengals pulled out the victory 19-17. Joe Burrow, 227 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Led the league in passing. Candidate for MVP, but ultimately won't get it. Khalil Herbert, we ain't talking about. Jamar Chase, 10 receptions, 96 yards on the touchdown. Triple Crown King, man. Triple Crown. He led the league in receptions, touchdowns, and receptions, yardage, and touchdowns. So Triple Crown with Jamar Chase. I actually heard that Jahmyr Gibbs led the actual total touchdown for that receiver. Jamar Chase touchdown. So, Bengals won the game. Russ looked like trash. Najee did nothing. Pat Freiermuth had a big game with 85 yards. But at the end of the day, Pittsburgh to me looks cooked. And my only thing I regret is that they played the Baltimore Ravens because they lost 4 games in a row. And I got a feeling that the Pittsburgh Steelers can try their best.
Oh, yeah.
Not lose 5, baby. So let's hope that they lose this 5th one. George Pickens dropped every pass he can get. End of that game. Do your thing, baby. What we got next?
All right, Carolina at Atlanta. Carolina pulled it out in overtime, 44-38. Bijan rushed for 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. He finished third this season in rushing yards with 14 touchdowns. I think he's locked in as a top 3 running back in Dynasty. It's between Gibbs, Genty, and Barkley. Those are the top 4 locked in. Drake London had the best game of his career, 187 yards. He finished 4th this year in receiving, 1,200 yards. He also had 9 touchdowns. I think it was great to see Drake London finally have a breakout year. Penix, last 3 games, he's averaged 245 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He's one of the players that I'm most excited about. I think he's still outside around the top 16, back end quarterback too, but he's got a great offense to work with. So I'm excited about that. And then you talked about it earlier. Bryce Young, 5 touchdowns were a career high, 3 through the air, 2 on the ground. So I'm excited about him.
Look quick too.
As well.
Look quick running.
Yeah,
that
he
man.
did. Yeah. So
yeah.
That's all I got to say about
that.
Man.
I like that one though, Rock, because those are 2 quarterbacks to look forward to in the future, man. But moving on, the Commanders versus Dallas. The Commanders struggled to beat a piss poor Dallas team. They barely beat them, but they end up winning, man. Mariota, 2 touchdowns, worth nothing. Another running touchdown, worth nothing. Terry McLaurin led the team in total touchdown receptions with a franchise record for that team. So shout out to T-Mac for doing that. Trey Lance got opportunity, didn't take advantage of it. And to be honest, man, Commanders won. They locked their seed in. Let's see what they do in the playoffs, baby. So shout out to them and shout out to my boys for losing. I appreciate pick 12. Let's get it cracking, Rock.
All righty. Chicago 24, Green Bay 22. The Bears were on a 10-game losing streak. That was a franchise record that they tied with before they beat their arch nemesis, the Packers. That's the first time they've beaten them in 11 straight matchups. So even though they had a terrible season, they're sure as happy as hell to beat the freaking Packers. Biggest takeaway, unfortunately, for this game, though, they lost Christian Watson, who tore his ACL and is going to be out for the rest of the year. So we'll see how they go, in their tough matchup against the Eagles.
No doubt, bro. All right, that's the bet, man. Well, Houston, Tennessee, honestly, it wasn't much to talk about other than Will Levis and the actual Tennessee Titans locked in the number 1 pick. And I think all year Will Levis helped them get that. So shout out to them for getting that number 1 pick. The future, who knows? It looks a little shaky in Tennessee, to be honest, man. And the Houston Texans didn't play any starters, but Dameon Pierce had a 92-yard rushing touchdown. And I know he lost his job, but for some reason, bro, every game, every year, he seems to pop these big plays, kick return, punt return, 92-yard rushing touchdown. So shout out to Dameon Pierce for never counting himself out after losing his job multiple times and still balling when he had opportunity. So next game, Rock, I'm moving on, but Titans number 1 pick, man. It's locked in.
Yeah. All right. Indy gets in overtime against Jacksonville, 26-23. JT, he took over this game. He had 177 yards on a career high 34 carries. He completely turned around this season. The last month of the season, he had 627 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. He won a lot of people championships in the last month of the season. He ends up finishing right behind Bijan, 4th in rushing this season, 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns. And we'll see if Joe Flacco returns for an 18th year. He says he wants to keep playing. He's going to turn 40 this week. So we'll see about that. I hope that he does come back, though. Joe Flacco, one of the best.
Going out like Testaverde, man. Testaverde. You got that Testaverde in.
Yeah. But I got to talk about my dude on Jacksonville, BTJ. Had 103 yards on 11 targets. His final 6 games, he saw at least 10 targets every game. He finished 3rd this year in receiving yards with 1,282 yards, 10 touchdowns. So for me personally, he's entering the Puka Nacua, Tyreek Hill status for me as one of my personal favorite wide receivers in the league.
Let it hear, bro. We need something going on in Jacksonville, and unfortunately, your swimming pools and mascots running around in thongs ain't the only thing they need to be talking about, bro. So shout out to BTJ for this thing. Coming up next, though, baby. Coming up next, Buffalo, they started Josh Allen just so he can continue his starting record. So shout out to Josh, another MVP candidate. But I want to talk about Joe Milton, man. Joe Milton went out there, had 22 completions, 29 attempts, 241 yards and a touchdown. But more so, I know they play backups, and I get it. Joe Milton is a backup, but he had Kayshon Boutte out there, 7 receptions, 117 yards and a touchdown. And Joe Milton looked like, hey, man, I said this yesterday during the tweet. I wish the Cleveland Browns had Joe Milton, because I would have loved to see him over Bailey Zappi and DTR, right? Like, Joe Milton gave us all something to watch and hope for a future that he can one day be a player, maybe not a starter, but just get a little bit of time in the game. And being behind Drake May, man, it might be tough because Drake's so young. So,
yeah.
Shout out to Joe Milton, man. He did his thing. New England won the game and played themselves out of the number 1 pick. And, of course, they fired their coach the other day. So, we'll see what they got going on. But next game, Rock, I'm going to throw it on to you, Playboy.
All right, Philadelphia 20, New York Giants 13. Not much to say here other than Malik Neighbors is amazing. He set the rookie record for most receptions with 109, which is also a Giants record. And then a couple hours later, Brock Bowers beat that record. So he's the one that actually set it with 110. Nothing else to say here. It was just backups for Philadelphia, man. Looking forward to next year to see what they get at quarterback at pick 3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And moving on, man. Tampa Bay, New Orleans. We already talked about it, man. Baker Mayfield looks like he's ready, man. He's in the prime of his career. He aged very well. Bucky Irvin looked like a steal in every single draft for the Bucs and for us as fantasy players. And Mike Evans got that record, man, with 89 yards. He only needed 85. So shout out to the whole Bucs team. They got the Commanders this week. Let's see what they do, man. This is one of them games I'm looking forward to seeing. So outside of that, man, New Orleans is New Orleans, and at least the Super Bowl is in New Orleans, right? They can call Master P and Cash Money and hopefully open up a record company. I don't know. But next game, Rob, we moving on. What we got cracking?
All right, Denver absolutely slaughters Kansas City 38-0. It's been 8 years since Denver has been in the playoffs. And the last time they were in the playoffs, Super Bowl 50. It's actually the longest playoff drought of any team after winning a Super Bowl by 4 years. Bo Nix took care of business, one of the best quarterbacks that we've seen. 4 touchdowns in this game. He set a rookie record for most passing touchdowns at home with 19. And his 29 passing touchdowns is the second most in NFL history for a rookie, only behind Justin Herbert, who had 31. Kansas City, nothing to say. They played their backups, and Carson Wentz is just booty cheeks. He's not that great.
Yeah, Carson Wentz. Right. Moving on, man. We're going to keep it going, keep it moving. Los Angeles Chargers, bro, they won the game. They locked in their season. They look like a good team. And one thing I will say, man, I don't want to prolong it too long, but Jim Harbaugh's, man, that bloodline, man, is different, bro. And Jim Harbaugh, I don't care where he goes, he learns, he teaches players how to be great at what they are, and he always learns, he always wins games, right? He builds a culture in that locker room, and it's evident to see. Justin Herbert looked lost last year. He didn't look like he enjoyed football. He got a coach now, and no matter how much the ownership, the management, everybody upstairs don't like Jim Harbaugh, them players in them locker rooms love him everywhere he goes. So shout out to Chargers. J.K. Dobbins is back. I love to see QJ, 186 yards receiving. And he just signed Ezekiel Elliott this morning, baby. So, hey, my boy still got a little bit of juice. Got a little bit of that juice, you know? So, shout out to Zeke for signing with the Chargers today, in case y'all didn't know that. And on the Raiders side, Brock Bowers is that dude. And so Kobe a little bit of love. 123 in the touchdown. Receiver 1 over there right now. Hopefully the future's bright, man, if they can get the right quarterback. So next game we moving on. But shout out to the West Side, LA versus Vegas.
Yeah. So the next game, Seattle overtakes the LA Rams 30-25. Geno Smith's 4 touchdowns were a career high. And just so you guys know, Seattle unfortunately is one of the first 10-win teams to miss the playoffs since they expanded 17 games. They're the second 10-win team in 9 years to miss the playoffs. The only other team was the 2020 Miami Dolphins. LA Rams, nothing to say about the backups. But yeah, it's good to see Geno Smith. He made some money this past weekend, so with those incentives.
Yeah, he made $6 million, bro. $6 million in one game from incentives. So that's a hell of a way to go out, man, if you ain't never going to play again or in that city. Shout out to him. Miami versus the Jets. Miami, pretty much lost the game like they should have anyway. Achane, 121 yards and a touchdown. He's looking like coming into next year, maybe a top 6 running back for sure, top 5 maybe if you want to, feel a little frisky, man. And Jonnu Smith, man, he stepped up. He surprised us all. He did his thing. Not sure what his value is going to be, but we'll find out soon. But ultimately, this is about Aaron Rodgers. This might be his last game. He might be done with football. He finished it out with 4 touchdowns, 274 yards, interception, and he not broke a record, but he reached 500 touchdowns. And of course, his very last one was to Davante Adams, man. So shout out to him. That's his boy. They love each other. They dogs. So of course, Davante Adams finished with 88 yards receiving. So that means Davante is the GOAT with that 88 anyway. And yeah, man, shout out to Aaron Rodgers and his career, whether he continues, whether he leaves, man. Shout out to the guy, man. And he was still one of them ones, no matter how he ended his career. So next game, next move, what we got, T-Rock?
All right, my last game I got here. Arizona takes on San Francisco. They beat them 47-24. Marv had 5 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown. Last solid game for him. His 8 touchdowns this season ties franchise legends Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden for the most TD catches by a rookie Cardinal. I'm really anxious to see Marv next year, man. I'm really hopeful him and Kyler Murray develop over the offseason. Trey McBride finished with 1,100 yards. He's second best tight end this season, but only 2 touchdowns, which is pretty disappointing. San Francisco, really tough year, man. They lost 7 of 8 their last games, but I'm expecting a huge bounce back for them next year, man. Super Bowl hangover is real, so that's all I got.
Yeah. Nah, no doubt, man. But also, I will say, don't we feel cheated that Marvin Harrison didn't have more touchdowns? He should have broke that record the way that we thought that season was going to go, man. So, unfortunately, he didn't, but he's still here. He's not going nowhere, and we look forward to the future with him.
Yep.
Last game, we're going to close out Vikings in Detroit, baby. Sam Darnold pretty much shit the bed with 18 completions on 41 passes, bro. That is terrible. 166 yards. I lost all my overs on that game. All my money is gone because of this game. I had Addison for a touchdown. Nobody scored, so it didn't matter. And Jared Goff, they went out there, they dominated. Jahmyr Gibbs had 4 touchdowns, 139 yards rushing, 23 carries, and they look like the best team in the NFC, right? So 15-2, they locked their number 1 seed in. They got the bye week. Detroit looks like it's popping right now, Rock. So they got the BMF series came out. Big Meat is home. Maserati. I mean, everybody they out there in Detroit doing their thing, man. So shout out to Detroit. Shout out to the NFC, and they locked in. It's probably the first time ever that they locked in a number 1 seed, if I ain't mistaken. And to have the same coach that went 0-16 on this team be the one that leads them to the number 1 seed, man, that's some history right there for you. So shout out to them boys, shout out to the NFL, Rock, and shout out to you, my brother, for cooking something up with your boy, man. That was a South Harmon fastest minutes, and it damn sure wasn't a minute. But we here, we got it done, Rock, and shout out my boy BJ, man. He came back through with a super chat. I guess he wanted to show us his profile picture again, man. So shout out my dog. Oscar Hernandez in the building. What's up, brother?
Dude, I thought we did pretty good, man. We went through all those games in less than 20 minutes. If it wasn't for all that Lamar love, that's all it was.
20 was Lamar, but Lamar's my dog, man. So I ain't mad at that at all, Playboy. We're gonna move along. Unfortunately, Rock, I can't play one of my favorite segments. We don't have fantasies over with, Dave. I just want to play the music anyway. I used to love breaking down my fantasy games, and it's over with.
We can play this while we're talking about all the ass coaches that all those vacancies that we got. That's what it is. There we go.
Speaking of that, man, we gonna for those. I mean, I can show y'all that. I was about to say for those that didn't know, nobody knows because they don't know our show sheet, right, Rock? But before we get on to the last segment, we're gonna talk about this right here, right? I know me and you being Lamar guys is not really a conversation, but let's just have a little conversation about it. Realistically, how far apart do you think these guys are in the MVP race? Like realistically, if taking the fandom away from it, Like, do you think it's a chance that they might just edge it out and give it to Josh because Lamar has 2 already, and we live in this world where you got to be fair and
No.
you know what I'm saying? Is it a realistic way that can happen?
I think that if you have some money, you should put the bet on the Vegas odds, with Lamar getting it because he's not favored. And if you just, when you pour through the stats and stuff like that, and you look at both teams have accomplished a lot. Josh Allen has had his best year of his career. There's no doubt about that. But here's the thing. It's just like Lamar Jackson has one of the best years in NFL history. What Josh Allen has done outside of that one game where he had 6 touchdowns, 3 passing, 3 rushing, which has never been done before. I can name off 10 other things that have never been done in history either by Lamar Jackson. So I don't know. I think a lot of the narrative and just Vegas putting that out there was just like he's the odds-on favor. But outside of that, when you actually look through it, man, it has to be Lamar Jackson. I don't care if Lamar has already won it 2 other times. He deserves. This is his best year of his career. If he doesn't win it this year, then what's the point of the trophy, man?
I'm with you, bro, and I'm not saying this from a Lamar fan perspective, but I feel like when you look at the season Lamar had, you know how we always become prisoner of Tom Brady, right? When Tom Brady wins something, you kind of like, oh man, he's supposed to win. He the best, like you know what I'm saying. You kind of forget that it was something great because you expected greatness from him. And I think even though Josh Allen had a hell of a season, I think people aren't talking about enough of how good of a passer Lamar was when his whole career he was told that he can't pass. He's a running back. He's this, he's that. And I've read that narrative of Lamar has a Pro Bowl team around him and Josh Allen doesn't. But I will say for him to have Derrick Henry almost leading the league in rushing yards, stealing touchdowns from him, if he didn't have Derrick Henry taking stats from him, his numbers would be even better. So how can you say that Lamar's stat line is even fair to him because Derrick Henry done stole half the yards and touchdowns from Lamar. So I feel like having Derrick Henry here definitely boosted this team. But ultimately, Lamar has shown us that my defense has gotten worse. So now I got to change my game. I mean, the man got Rashad Bateman out here looking like a capable receiver, right? I mean, nobody like Rashad. We had Isaiah Likely show up this year, right? We've been waiting for a Likely spotting. He showed up. I just think Lamar Jackson, to me, locks it in. 1 second. Locks it in as the MVP. And I'm looking at the odds right now. Every site has Lamar losing, though. They have Josh Allen. MGM minus 250, little Josh. DraftKings minus 450. FanDuel minus 470. I mean, across the board, Josh Allen is supposed to win it. So I'm with you, Rob. You got money, put it in on Lamar Jackson. The highest one is FanDuel's for plus 350 right now. So go on FanDuel's, put $50 down and try to double your money, man. But me personally, though, I just feel like the circumstances around Lamar are better. But he's shown us that he's gotten better, even though the situation is better. Because he could have said, "Look, I got Derrick Henry. I'm a chill. I don't need to overdo it." He played better than he's ever played, and still had Derrick Henry. Like to me, it's Lamar Jackson. Man. I'm not sure how the people feeling, but it's LJ8 for me.
You can't knock quarterbacks on things that are out of their control. It's not in Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson's control, the team that's put around him. The only thing that's in his control is how he executes, how he uses the pieces that have been given to him. Both quarterbacks have done, they are the 2 best when it comes to that. And I also got to give props to Joe Burrow as well. Crazy thing about Joe Burrow, only 2 other quarterbacks in NFL history have thrown for over 45 touchdowns and over 4,500 yards in less than, I think it was 10 picks. The other 2 were Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. They both won MVP. And Joe Burrow isn't even like he's barely in the conversation for this stuff. So for him to have a career year and not be this quarterback, it's just like he's playing in the wrong era. Unfortunately, he's got to play against Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. So I'm all here for it. But yeah, we're pretty spoiled when it comes to the quarterbacks of today, man. It's pretty amazing right now. So I hope Lamar Jackson, I think he deserves it the most. Josh Allen's had an amazing year, but no, it's got to be Lamar, man.
Well, I will say, bro, remember we thought when Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers, all these guys, we thought, man, the quarterback position in trouble. Like, we losing all our legends, all the greats, right? Even Aaron Rodgers finally leaving now.
Yeah.
It looked like he could have left early with the injuries he kept suffering, but we just kind of didn't know what to expect. And now when you look at Josh Allen, Lamar, Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, a new electrifying player that stepped in. Jordan Love stepped up when a lot of people doubted him. I mean, the quarterback position right now, bro, is thriving more than ever. Like that, I think that's why I guess we're expecting rookies to come in and be so great, because the quarterback position, if you look around league wide, man, it's getting better. So unfortunately, only 32 can start, and it's gonna be trouble, man, when more rookies keep coming in, and you got to keep being at your best, or you're gonna get replaced. So. Shout out to Lamar and Josh. I just think right now Lamar is the clear one, and if you got a little bit of money and want to win some, go put it on Lamar, baby. FanDuel actually has the highest odds, so put that money down, get you some money. Yeah. And like you just said, Rob, we're gonna go ahead and get it cranking, get it cracking, man, and get some of that music playing, because why not, right? We're gonna talk about, for the people that don't know.
I can barely. Sorry, I can barely hear you.
Oh, my fault.
Oh, no, I got you.
It's the music was out. I got it. I turned out. Right now, though, we got pretty much these are the teams that we're banking on having replacement jobs for coaches or have already made the firing. So, start with Jacksonville, bro. Jacksonville. What's your odds on them landing a Ben Johnson or a guy that can come and change this franchise around at the drop of a hat, and they actually try to compete with the Texans?
So they actually got their first request in today. They were kind of late to the game. They have requests for Liam Cohen and Ben Johnson. Liam Cohen's the OC for the Buccaneers. Ben Johnson, as we know, is the OC for the Lions. So they're going to have virtual meetings with them. I actually think Aaron Glenn, the DC for the Lions, would be a great coaching candidate for them. He played under Bill Parcells, and I think they just need a little bit of toughness, man. I think it would be great to have Ben Johnson there as well. So either of the coaches from Detroit, I think they need to have that winning culture there and take advantage of all these studs that they have in offense, man. But the tough thing is they're keeping Trent Baalke for a 5th season as the GM. So I don't know, man. That's the only thing that gives me a little bit of hesitation about the Jaguars. But yeah, Peterson, he's out. He had a tough go. 22-29 as the Jacksonville head coach. 5-18 in his last 23 games. So,
well, I'm gonna say this, bro. I think, to me, they need offense, man. I'm just a guy that believes in when you got a young quarterback that hasn't found his way yet, you gotta get him the right guy. Or if you're the DC, you need to have that OC that brings in like what Ben Johnson is doing with Detroit, what Cliff has done with Jay Dan. Like, you need the right OC that gets you through. Because I feel like Jacksonville, to me, man, they need to get Trevor. I know they paid him already, but we've seen more bad seasons than we've seen good seasons. And one of them we kind of defaulted him with because of the coach and Urban Meyer and what he went through. But that era is over with, and it's time for Jacksonville to wake up and Trevor Lawrence to be who he is or who he isn't, right? It's just time to get better or not. And they need a good offensive coordinator / OC quarterback to me. I mean, a head coach to me to kind of get him rolling. You just paid him all that money, man. You better get it right now or it's over with. So I think they need some offense, though, brother, is what I'm trying to say. So moving on to Jets, man.
They need to unlock Trevor Targaryen, man. He's the truth, man. So.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. For sure. What do you think about the Jets, though, bro? Moving over to Jets.
Man, the Jets, they probably...
What's up with this Rex Ryan? Just, come on, bro. Rex Ryan. I don't mean to cut you off, Rob, but this is what I hate about it, right? We got these old owners who like living in these old times that have old ways in new, like, it's a new world. It's a new world, bro, right? All these billionaires are best friends with Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is looking in 2085 right now, according to him. So if you're a billionaire of a team and you around other billionaires who are rejuvenating and getting things, you know, kind of up to the times, I don't understand why NFL owners are in the same rooms with these guys and they keep digging back into these old cycles of asking Rex Ryan for an interview. Come on,
that's
bro.
that's because that's the last time they were good, man. That's how long it's been. It's been a long time since they've gone to the playoffs. The last time was when Rex Ryan took them to the playoffs, man. So it's a dumpster fire. I think Rex or Ron Rivera would be the most fun. So if it's going to be a dumpster fire, you might as well have some fun with it.
Bro, let's be honest, bro. Rex Ryan or Ron Rivera, come on, Rock, man. It ain't no way that I'm hearing breaking news. Rex Ryan, Ron Rivera are top names on the list. Like, bro, how do these billionaires keep their money? Because if they keep going back to floppy disk, there's no way to move on to this digital world. We in the digital world, man. You got to get digital, baby. You can't keep going back to... You keep going to CD players and Walkman and floppy disks, is never going to work, man. So I'm praying that that's just news and it's not real, but it's just a joke when I look at these coaching breaking news rumors, man. It drives me crazy, bro.
The New York is one of those teams where it's such a shit show that we just need something that's laughable to be there anyway. It's not going to be anything that's serious anyway. So they just need to be the clown of the league.
Nah, I'm with you. That was funny though. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, moving on, man. We ain't gonna go through every team, but I just say, out of these teams I got listed, bro, give me the best spot for a Ben Johnson that you would like to see, and give me the most surprising team on this list, as far as head coaching goes, and what you think, would be like the most exciting hire for one of these teams. So I don't gotta go through the list. Just give me your favorite hire for teams, and the most surprising in a sense.
The most surprising would be because the Bears actually put in a request to interview Mike McCarthy, even though he is the coach of the Cowboys. Isn't that crazy? Is that the Bears put in a request for that?
Don't even want this dude, bro. Why is the Bears like, oh, you don't want that trash? We'll pick it up. Like, what are you doing, man?
So I think that
Mike McCarthy, it ain't no permission. Take them. There you go. I'm bringing them to your door, man. What's going on here, Rob? Go ahead, bro. I ain't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I think it's crazy as well. The Bears have the most requests in. They have Brian Flores, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, Mike Kafka, Mike McCarthy, Todd Monken, Drew Petzing, Arthur Smith, Anthony Weaver, David Shaw. So, but the one request they don't have in that I would be the most excited for would be Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury, he would be going into a team that has a top 10 defense, which he did not have in Arizona. And say what you want to say about his head coaching prowess when he was in Arizona. It wasn't that great. It was pretty mediocre, but I think he can unlock young quarterbacks. So to see him with Caleb Williams in that offense.
And Caleb asked for him. Caleb wanted him. He requested him when he came out of college. Like, take care of your franchise players, Rock. You got to, man.
Yeah. So I think that would be the one that I'm most excited for. And we'd already talked about it earlier. I think Ben Johnson, in Jacksonville would be great. But also, too, probably the biggest surprise, I'd be surprised if the Patriots don't get Vrabel, which seems like a shoo-in, if Ben Johnson goes there. So, I want to see the Patriots, the league is a lot better when the Patriots are doing well, I think, because everyone loves hating them, So when they're pretty good, so that's the only other team that I think would be the most surprising that I would want to see as a sneaky hire. Definitely not the Saints. They're probably the lowest on this freaking. They have $63 million over the cap. They're in cap hell, man.
I'm gonna be honest. You take that Saints job, just know you probably won't have another coaching job again. But at least get your one opportunity to say I was a head coach, right? So
get your practice in. That's what it is. You get your practice in as a head coach.
I mean, look, Deshaun Jackson just got a job as a coach at HBCU. So go hire Shady McCoy. I don't know, man. But the Saints need something, anybody that would want to take that job. Me personally, I think, like I said, the Ben Johnson thing is always going to be the top narrative for any team on this list. I believe he wants, from what they say, more control. So the Patriots, I think he will have the most control because I just feel like the floodgates are open. Like, hey, whatever you want, Robert Kraft is going to give him. I don't think he's going to waste no time. The Jaguars have already said they're bringing back their GM, so I'm not sure if that kind of butts heads with what they said Ben Johnson wants to do. And the whole Chicago thing that we was hearing about, Ben Johnson might want to go to Chicago, seeming like it's slim to none that happens now. So the fact that the Bears are asking for Arthur Smith, and I mean, what is going on, bro? Sell Caleb Williams. I don't want no parts of him, brother. I guess
Now,
yeah.
are you more excited for some of these teams or maybe some of the potential openings next year? Because the Colts, the Dolphins, the Giants, the Raiders, and the Cowboys, they're all on the hot seat. Would you rather have one of those teams next year if you're a head
I'm
coach?
gonna say this. Who to say the Eagles won't be one? If they go out and get eliminated week 1, could be the Eagles is the hot seat ticket for 2025. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so
man.
I'm just saying, bro, we've seen Doug get fired after winning the Super Bowl, and I don't see if they lose another chance to go. Never know. Yeah. So I think, I'm with you. 2025 opportunities could be a lot better, man. Could be a whole lot better. All in all, though, bro, I think Ben Johnson is the guy. That's the number one. Mike Vrabel is probably number 2 as far as the favorite coaching that's going on. And we'll see what happens, bro. We'll see what happens. We know the Ravens ain't switching coaches, right? They locked in.
Oh, yeah. I think, and Cliff Kingsbury, your dude, man, it's just like, I'm excited for him as well. So hopefully.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too, Rock. All right, man. That was a coaching thing. I guess before we get up out of here, man, we're going to give the people a little bit of love on these playoff teams, playoff brackets. Let's kind of break it down, right, before we hit out here, man. So let's go NFC. Let's go NFC. First matchup on the top, Vikings and the Chargers. I mean, and the Rams. Vikings and the Rams. Who you got? What's your favorite? What's the outcome?
So this is the last game of the playoffs. This is Monday night, 8 p.m. I think this is going to be a pretty interesting game. Sean McVay has taken the Rams to the playoffs 6 of the 8 years that he's been their head coach. Their defense has been really solid over the last month. Jared Verse, their rookie, is their only Pro Bowler, which is kind of crazy and stuff like that. But the only thing is, like, they've been getting off the slow starts. But Puka Nacua, he has to shine, man. He has to erupt. He has an insane, 40% target rate, which is the highest since 2007. So I want to see Puka Nacua absolutely explode. Minnesota, I think they're really well balanced. They did not look that great against the Lions, but no one ever does. You know, they're top 10 in offense and in defense. Sam Darnold's had a pretty awesome season, but the only thing is, though, every team that's played the Lions, except the Bills, has lost the following week. So I would not be surprised after playing the Lions and getting the shit kicked out of them that, you know, they have a hangover from that and they actually lose to the Rams in the first game. I'm never going to go against McVay. That's the thing. How are you feeling about this game?
I'm not going to lie, Rock. I'm a McVay stan, bro. That's my guy. I always feel like, and that's my thing with the Eagles, I feel like no matter who the Eagles play, if it's Minnesota, LA, or Detroit, I'm just trusting coaching on one of those 3 teams more than Philly. No knock to them as a team. I just trust when it comes down to it, it's going to come down to coaching. I will say I had LA going up against the Washington Commanders early, and I thought maybe they could win that one. I think going up against Minnesota going to be tough, though, bro. And the only reason why, it has nothing to do with the Vikings maybe being that much better, which they are. I just think Kupp and Stafford look old, man. The last 4 games I seen from those guys, bro, they've done absolutely nothing. Like, I looked at Matt Stafford. If you look at his fantasy points, man, I wish I would have put it. If you look at Matt Stafford's numbers, bro, over the last, and I'm the one that brought up this point and didn't even have it ready.
They're 20th in the NFL in scoring. They're only averaging 21 points per game, which is
my point.
You need
to
be able to do more.
I mean, look. They played San Fran week 15. Matt Stafford 160 yards on 16 completions, no touchdowns. They played the Jets the following week, 110 yards, 14 completions. They played Arizona, 189 yards, 17. Matt Stafford has scored 1 touchdown in 3 weeks, and Cooper Kupp, I don't even have to bring up what he's done. So, to me, the last 3 weeks, bro, they just look washed. They look old. They look done. And unfortunately, if this was the Rams team that we talking week 8, week 7, when they was, making their run, I would say this is going to be a hell of a game. I just think right now, after losing to Detroit the way they lost, I mean, I don't think Minnesota going to play with them people, man. I think Minnesota coming for their neck in a sense. So I think I got to go with Minnesota on this one, unfortunately, man, just because the Rams just look old the last my last couple times I saw him. So
I think the Rams are gonna. I think they were saving themselves for this game, man. I think they're gonna turn it on. I think Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are gonna go off. So we'll lock it in. It's good. It's good that we disagree.
They got to have a young defense. I kind of wish this matchup wasn't happening so early, though. This is a matchup I wanted to see, like, in another scenario, kind of like the Vikings play somebody else, LA. So it is what it is, but it's a good matchup. Commanders and the Bucks. What we got going on, brother? How you feeling?
So Tampa Bay, 5 straight playoff appearances, which is pretty crazy. They're 4th in the league in points scored, 3rd most in franchise history, only behind the Tom Brady years of 2020 and 2021. Mayfield, we talked about it earlier, having an amazing season, 41 passing touchdowns, 4,500 yards, 71% completion percentage. The biggest concern with the Bucs is the defense, though, but it has been all season. Yeah. So as long as Mayfield can keep cooking, but Jaden Daniels, man, he's been clutch. 12 touchdowns in the fourth quarter or overtime. He's second in the NFL when it comes to that. The only thing, though, Commanders are the worst rushing defense in the NFL, and they're facing
probably Bucky Irvin.
They're facing one of the best rushing teams in the NFL. And second half of the season, Commanders haven't looked nearly as good as they did the first half of the season. But Daniels is the ultimate equalizer. This is going to be an exciting game. How are you feeling about it, man?
I always say this about the Commanders. Coming into the playoffs of the NFC, I always say Detroit was number 1 to me. Minnesota was number 2. Philly was 3. And my wild card, it was LA until I saw how old they looked. And I gave it to the Commanders. And here's why. I gave it to the Commanders for a stat you just said about Jaden Daniels in that fourth quarter. If any game comes down to the last drive, I don't care if it's 20 seconds left, right? If the Commanders got the ball in that last drive, I'm banking on them to win the game. I mean, Jaden Daniels has thrown a Hail Mary that randomly gets caught in the back of the end zone. He played the Cowboys and threw it to Terry McLaurin with like 30 seconds left and came back and tried to win that game. I mean, we got Atlanta on Sunday night, right? They came back on the last drive. He threw it to Zach Ertz touchdown. Week to week, I've seen Jaden Daniels, bro, with 1 minute or less on the clock, ice the game and win it. So to me, they are the 4th best team coming into playoffs because in a clutch moment, I'm betting on them to win every game. Coaching wise, though, I will say, like you said, they've kind of stepped back a little bit in the last couple of weeks. I just think that's just fatigue, man. People forget. I always say this, bro. I've been saying this all year. The Commanders won their season by week 9. They already won it, right? But when you look now, I know Cliff gets a bad rep for being high early and kind of fading out late. But I look at his track history. His history was a young Kyler Murray and now a young Jaden Daniels. So he's dealing with 2 quarterbacks that towards the end of the season, man, they might be a little fatigued mentally, physically. Like, you know, he hasn't had a Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford to coach, right? He has 2 young guys that he kind of coached through the process of a long season. So me personally, I'm gonna go with the Commanders on this one, bro. I think it's going to end up being a clutch game, shootout game, and that last drive, bro, Louvu, one of them might get an interception, turn the ball or whatever, and then the game-winning drive with 49 seconds left on the clock, the Commanders need a touchdown, and J.D. going to drop that dime on them, baby. So I'm a Commanders on this one right here, Rob.
Man, when you were talking about fatigue, all I could think about was that gif. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's too damn bad. It's just like we can't get tired right now, man. So this is gonna be another one I disagree with you with. I'm gonna go with the Bucs. So also
hey, listen, it can go either way. I ain't mad at you. Go ahead though.
Also in the chat, while we talk about these games, I'm kind of interested in what the chat thinks on some of these matchups too. Well. So,
well, I do got a lot of Commanders fans watching me, Rock. So you're gonna hear the Commanders cheering more. But I just think personally, bro, if it come down to being a close game, like the Commanders got to be down by two plus touchdowns in that fourth quarter. Because if it's a score for score 7-3 type of game, I'm banking on them to win it, man. I just think Jaden Daniels every single week is showing me I trust him. With 1 second on the clock and the ball to the 50-yard line, I trust him. So
I want to be mad about it because Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin, they're in the highest tier of my favorite players, man. So
yeah,
I'd be happy either way, man.
For sure. For sure. So Green Bay and Philly, man. This is one of them games where I think, unfortunately, me personally, I don't think Green Bay is ready for this playoff run. I think they done lost too many pieces. They kind of look, kind of lost in a sense. And also to go back to the Commanders, the Bucks beat the Commanders week 1 of the season, and Philly beat Green Bay week 1 of the season in London. So this is kind of a revenge game.
Brazil, Sao Paulo.
Oh, my bad. Brazil, my bad, baby. But it's crazy that they went somewhere that they couldn't even wear green. So I don't even know what that was about. But anyway, Commanders might get their get back on week 1 of the playoffs, and Green Bay could get their get back. But me personally, I just don't think Green Bay is ready for this playoff run that they unfortunately about to be on. So what you thinking right now, Rock, with Green Bay and the Eagles?
This is the game that I feel like could be one of the biggest surprises. So Philly, they're 21st in scoring in the first quarter. They're like the Rams. They're notorious for getting off to slow starts. 10 times this season, they scored 0 points in the first quarter. So Kellen Moore, I think, really needs to have a really good start to the game. They think he needs to get A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Hurts. I think that's going to be actually the key, because if they get them involved early and they have a balanced attack where they're trying to run it with Saquon and then do a play action over the top, I think that's going to be the way that they beat the Packers. Is they need to force the Packers to rely on the pass more, because the Packers, they're top 5 in rushing yards and takeaways. They want to rush the ball down your throat.
Oh yeah.
And they want to just control the game that way, man. So if they can get
the Eagles defense is gonna be tough to run on, bro. They sound easy in the stat line, but this Eagles defense is bro.
Yeah, so I think this is gonna be a lot closer game. Jordan Love has not thrown a pick in his last 7 games. He actually has the highest QBR since week 12 of any quarterback in the league right now. But here's the thing. Packers don't have any signature wins against the NFC. They're 0-5 against their division and also the Eagles as well. So that's the tough thing. But Green Bay, man, LaFleur and Love has looked good, when they've gone to the playoffs and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. That's the only tough thing. You said it earlier. If Sirianni, if he gets bounced in the first week of the playoffs again, like after last year, his ass is going to be on the hot seat. So, Philly is arguably the best team on paper, but who gives a shit,
For
so
sure,
it's just like all that could change in 1 week. So,
and I mean, this is a schedule thing, so I can't take it, but Philly ain't beat nobody either, bro. They beat the Ravens, and it was fluke. Lamar lost that game. Philly ain't really won that game. They beat the Bengals when they were down and out. They beat the Steelers when the Steelers was at their worst. Like, no knock on Philly because they played their best at their schedule, but I'm not going to clap and act like Philly was knocking down teams when they played, Dallas, who was nothing, the Jaguars, who were nothing, the Browns, the Giants. I mean, they ain't beat a lot of top tier talent in a sense either, but they are here. They are who they are. And to me, I got to take Philly on this one because I just think the D-line and that defense is really going to strap down on Jordan Love. I think that run game, I think they coming into this game saying Josh Jacobs. They're not saying nothing else. Josh Jacobs. And as long as Josh Jacobs don't do nothing on this field today, we're going to win this game. So I think that's how they're going to play it throughout.
Yeah. I'm just going to pull for the Eagles only because I love Jalen Hurts and I love the players on their offense. I love A.J. Brown. I love Devontae Smith. I love Saquon Barkley. I hate the Eagles as a team. I hate their freaking fan base, but I love Jalen Hurts. So he's constantly the most underrated player.
Unfortunately, teams have logos, and I'm a fan of the players more than logos. And Saquon, Jalen Hurts, Smitty, those my dogs, but they just play for the wrong logo. So it is what it is, man.
Unfortunate, man. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
That's it. AFC though, it's funny. I just noticed, Rock. I went from top to bottom, but all those games are backwards on the actual playing. So.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, all good. We're doing things our own way, man. Yeah.
So if you was listening, those games that I just said are backwards as far as how they play. So you will enjoy Philly first, then the Washington game, then the Vikings game. So AFC, before we get out of here, brother. Chargers and the Texans, C4, C5. Who you got, man? How we feeling about this one?
So this one is going to be, I think, really, really close. Both teams have an amazing defense. Houston has Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson, who have 12 and 11 sacks apiece. Derek Stingley, Kalen Bullock each have 5 interceptions. But here's the thing. Houston's offense has looked atrocious. They've looked bad. They're 18th in scoring. Stroud has faced the 4th most pressures in the league. He's getting pressured on over 35% of his dropbacks, which is insane. And they're 24th in EPA since week 10. But Jim Harbaugh, we talked about it earlier. The Harbaughs are both in the playoffs now. You know, he made it to 3 NFC championships and 1 Super Bowl in 4 years at San Francisco. Isn't that crazy?
Everywhere he goes,
he just wins, man. He just wins. So the Chargers also have an amazing defense. They have an amazing secondary. I think they can shut down. Like, all they have is Nico Collins. That's it. There's no one else that they can really pass to, which is kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of scary for the Texans, man. So the main concern, though, is like the Chargers offense is just okay. Like, they have Ladd McConkey. They're relying on a rookie. They have a dynamic running game, but the Texans have a really good defense as well. So I think this is going to be one of the closest matchups. I got to give it to my Chargers, though. Jim Harbaugh. I think he's going to try to play his brother later on in the AFC, man. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, I'm going to say this, man. We talking star power, we talking the Texans, right? C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Joe Mixon, Hunter. They have the actual name talent where you would look at this blindly and say this team should win. But the Chargers, they got the coaching. They got Herbert looking at his best. J.K. Dobbins is back, really running that ship as far as groundwork, ground and pound. And they playing defense, man. I like how, I mean, they got some young guys in their defense too, bro. But to me, the Chargers are one of the more balanced teams. They don't have like a air raid attack. They don't have like a run-only attack. They just kind of balance on both scales. Herbert can go for 250 and 2 touchdowns, and the running game can go for 180 and 2 touchdowns. Like, that's just the type of games that they can have. Like you said, I think this is going to be closer than what people think, but ultimately, I think the Chargers are going to take this win, man, and move on to the next round. So, Jim Harbaugh, that's my guy. I like that guy, man. Hopefully, he decides to leave there and come on to Dallas, bro. So, moving on, though, I'm going to let you do it. Do the had a floor, brothers. The Bengals, I'm saying the Bengals. No, the Ravens and the Steelers. The Ravens and the Steelers, brother. The Ravens and the Steelers. I know how you feel, but just try to give the Steelers a little bit of love. You know what I'm saying? How you feeling about this game, bro?
Okay, so I'll start with the Steelers. Their defense, well, I ain't going to give them any love. For their last 4 games, they've given up 380 yards and 27 points on average over the last 4 games. They started in a historic run. I remember Cody talking about like this is one of the best defenses.
They had the ball. They had the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Bengals on the last 3 games, bro. Something like that. Like, that's kind of tough, though. I'm just saying.
It's murderer's row. But hey, it's not going to get any easier in the playoffs, dude. It's just like I don't want to hear any like excuses from teams being like, oh, they had a tough match. That's what's supposed to prepare you for these games and stuff like that, and they've looked terrible. So it's just like at least their defense. So Pickens, you already talked about earlier. It's just him and Russ are not connecting whatsoever. So, but here's the thing: it's Pittsburgh versus Baltimore, so anything can happen. You know, it's the best rivalry in football. Now, as far as the Ravens go, they have been outstanding over the last 4 games. They've outscored opponents 135-43. And the Achilles heel in the beginning of the season, everyone was talking about, like, if you had a wide receiver that you were playing in fantasy and they're going up against the Ravens, they were going to cook. Absolutely. Massive turnaround in defense, though. League low average 15 points that they've allowed over the last 7 weeks. So they've completely turned it around. And under John Harbaugh, they have won their first playoff game in 8 of 11 playoff appearances, which is absolutely insane. And if they do have to go on the road, they're the ultimate road warriors. John Harbaugh has won more road games in the playoffs than any other coach in NFL history. 8. So regardless, I got to give it to Baltimore.
Some of those losses were with Tyler Huntley and not Lamar too, so we gotta remember that, man. So put a little bit of respect on the Harbaugh name, man. But
man.
I think at the end of the day, me personally, I'm taking Baltimore in this game. My only fear is that, like you just said, It's the Steelers and the Ravens, and anything can happen. And as much as I love Lamar, I think Lamar is one of the best quarterbacks in this game. I'm gonna say him. The team always finds a way to just
screw it
give.
up.
Yeah, bro. It's like they'll go up against the Raiders and lose, and it's like, bro, everybody in the world bet on y'all to win this game, and you go out and lose. Like that's the thing I hate, bro. The Ravens remind me of the Cowboys so much. I always say this because the Cowboys will lose a game to a team that they have no business even being close to, and it drives me freaking nuts, bro. So I'm just praying that the Ravens do what they're supposed to do, handle business. I think Derrick Henry being there kind of solidifies that we're not just banking on Lamar. We have, if Lamar for some reason overthrowing people, just give it to the king, man. We're gonna let it work. And ultimately, I think the Steelers don't have enough to beat the Ravens. So I'm gonna give it to the Ravens to move on in the next season. And we're gonna close it out with the Broncos and the Buffalo Bills, bro. And MVP candidate Lamar. I said Lamar. I want to give it to Lamar so bad, right? Josh Allen is coming up next, and he's going up against at one point Rookie of the Year candidate Bo Nix. So Sean Payton and his crew, man, we didn't see them being where they are now. We actually counted them out coming into the season, but they said, "Hold up, man, we ain't out of here yet, baby." So what we got going on, man, in Buffalo with the Broncos and the Bills, brother?
So, yeah, Josh Allen and the Bills, they've looked fantastic, both sides of the ball. We talked about it earlier.
Yes,
Josh Allen's having the best year of his career. But here's the thing. They're going up against one of the best defenses in the NFL in the Denver Broncos. They're third in efficiency, first in expected points, first in sacks.
I mean, I said Sutton. Wait, Rock, let me stop talking. I said Cortland Sutton. I meant Pat Surtain. Pat Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year. Go ahead,
Absolutely.
my bad. I'm cutting you off. My bad, brother.
No, he by 100%. Pat Surtain, he's one of the best. He's the best player that's playing defense right now in the league right now.
Yes, sir.
So that would be, I think. I mean, Josh Allen, he's not going to allow his team to lose in the first round. So, but I think it's going to be a lot closer. I want to see what Bo Nix does against this Bills defense. But
I'm with you.
It would be a lot of fun if Denver somehow got the upset. That would be wild.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to bet on it, but if it happened, I will say this right now. As much as we just talk about the MVP race and all that, I think if Baltimore loses, you can give it to Josh Allen. They're going to find a way to give it to Josh Allen just because he lost for round one. And if the Bills lose, they're going to just automatically. I mean, they say this counts for the regular season, but we know how that voting stuff goes, bro. If you look bad in the playoffs, I don't care what they say. They will literally take those points away from you mentally when they're voting. So if one of these teams lose between Baltimore and Buffalo, you can count the other one as the MVP. That's how I look at it. But I'm going to take the Bills overall. But kudos to the Broncos for being here. And hopefully going forward, I think Sean Payton has his guy in Bo Nix. And they got Cortland Sutton. You know, hopefully he asks for a raise because they definitely owe him more money no matter what he just signed because he's balling. And they keep getting better, man. So this is the best defense in the NFL right now. And we got a good first week of playoff games going on. Now, for those that didn't know, because I scrambled the list up, Saturday is the 4 p.m. game, Chargers and Texans. Saturday, 8 p.m., Steelers and Ravens. Sunday, 1 p.m., I'm talking Eastern time. Sunday, 1 p.m., Broncos and Bills. 4:30 p.m., Packers and Eagles. 8 p.m., Commanders and the Bucks. And we got a Monday night game, Vikings and the Rams. So, check it out. Tap into those games. Be back here with us. And, yeah, man, I got my boy Rock here, man. I'm glad my boy got to come through, man. For those that, wasn't hip or didn't know that my boy was the chef in the kitchen, man. He is here. I'm introducing him on this platform of the cook up. Rock, man, get the people a little bit of what you got going on and what you want to do later on in this fantasy space, and how your New Year's is starting off and where we want to be at, man, at the end of the year. I mean.
Oh man. Well, I was just telling one of my friends that came over last night, man. My life is good. It's really good right now, man.
There you go.
I was super stoked just to be able to do this show with you. It's been amazing to do America's Game with ED and to do Start Shit all season long with him and Matt Dennis and the other people that were able to get on there right now. But you guys, I'm really excited for what I have cooking up for this off season. I already have all the articles and topics that I have planned out for this off season. I'm really, really excited about it right now. The one that I'm working on right now is playoff strategy. So this is going to be something you want to bookmark for 2025. What to do in the playoffs, what your odds of winning are, what to do with those valuable first-round picks, if they're more worthwhile for this upcoming rookie draft, or if they're worth going in for all in. So I'm really excited about the upcoming series that I got right here. So yeah, just tap in all off season. This is the time of the year when I'm most excited, and I have lots of different really cool things that I'm bringing you guys this off season. So tap in with the articles on the website, and also just tap in every week. We got lots of different shows that we're bringing you. So, but yeah, communicate with me, send me DMs or messages. You can hit me up on Twitter at T-Rock5220. 52 is for Ray Lewis, the 20 is for Ed Reed, man. So just remember that.
There we go, Rob. And I put this in the chat at the top, man, but I'm posting the South Harmon Vibes channel link, man. Y'all get a chance to tap into that, man. Subscribe. That's where me and Mike having our little fun over there on Friday nights and whatever other nights we feel like doing it. But should be popping up in the chat soon. Make sure y'all tap into that. I'm glad my boy Rock got to kick it with me, man. And it was a good show today, man. Good show. Playoff week coming up next week. Got a couple of guests coming over for the next 3 weeks, and we're gonna do it like that, baby. My son is clearly ready for me to get over here, so I'm gonna get up out of here, man. And one time before we get out of here, I'll get the people one of them things, baby. Nah, this thing. Peace out.